Hey, welcome back. This is part 3, creating a database using Google Sheets and app scripts. So in part 4 here, we're going to be hopefully finishing up the add button and the clear all button here. So let's get with it here. So we left off with just being able to add stuff into our database, as you see here. Now we want to go to our app scripts here. So we go to extensions, app scripts, and we're going to go to our main body of code, because what we want to do next is to add the values here in these fields here. So to do that, we'll go back to our app scripts, and we want to take these values that we input in the input form and put them into the invoice form. And that can be done as follows. So the first thing we want to do is get what cells do we need to in the invoice sheet to add this data here. So we can go back and we can look at the invoice sheet, and then we can take note that we want to put a date here, and what's that, E14, and then we want to put a information here, which is going to be C17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. The invoice number, we want to put in G17. You can put a due date if you want to, but we're not going to do that. Put a project name, which would be E20, if you want to do that. And then here we want to put in our pricing for the values. So basically in this description here, we're just going to add one item, and then we're going to create a formula that will automatically times the quantity by the price, and we'll put the total here, and then we'll put in our subtotal to add up all, we're going to add all these up. And adjustments, we put a discount, so that'll be minus this. And then we're going to put our tax in, so whatever tax base is at your location, if any. And then we'll total it up. So let's continue on by going back to our app scripts here. So the first thing we're going to do, we want to get the invoice number, right? And that invoice number is going to be found in row 3 and in the last row, well, actually column 3, and then the last row that was input into the database. So let's go back to our scripts and let's start writing that. So we have to get the value first. So let's go down here and let's go ahead and type in, we need let, and then I'm going to say get number. I should say probably get invoice, but what's it going to get number equals what? We need to pull the data from our data sheet, right? So we want to get range again. Oops. And where do we want to get this range from? Well, we want to get it from the last row. So we do our open. All right, so we're going to do the last row, which is going to be an integer. In our case, it's going to be blank. Oh. Next row, and where I get blank row from. All right, and that's going to give us the row number of our last set of data. And then we want to know what column. And so in our database, it's column 3 or column C. So we're going to put the magic number 3 in again. And then that's it. And what do we need to do? We need to get the value. And since we're getting only a single value, we just do value on n in that plural. Then we hit enter. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add that get number into invoice sheet. So we need to get the range, parentheses, right, where we're going to put it, G17 in the invoice sheet. Then we have to set the value, which is done by doing dot set, and since it's only one value, don't need plural. And then we're going to get the number that we got from this line. So we had to put the variable in get number, and then that is done. So we put that in G17. Now here, what I'm going to do is we have to put the date in. So we're going to recopy. We're going to do something similar that we did in our function over here. Get invoice number. So basically we're going to just recopy this in here and put it into our proper sheet. I mean, into our proper cell in the invoice sheet. So we basically can just take this here, hit the magic copy button, go back to our code, put it down here, and just make some changes here, right? So we want to get range, but we want to get range where? But we also do one other thing. Get range, we want to put the date in. We want to put the date in. We want to put the date in. Is it D14 or E14? Let's see. Submit it on E14. So we want to put our date in E14. So E14, but we don't want to put it in the DB. We're going to put it in the invoice sheet. And we do that like that. And so that should work. We can test this out real quick. So let's go ahead and hit the magic save button. Go to our input, and let's just put in a couple things. All right. All right. So let's hit the add. See if we get any stuff. And look, there we have it. So that is working. But we don't have our clear all done, so let's get rid of that. And go back here. Let's go back to our database. That'll be fine. So we know it's working. So the next step here is, so we have to get these values out of the, well, get these elements out of the values and then put it into our invoice sheet. So how do we do that? Well, we know this is an array. So you might be thinking this is similar to Java array, Python array, where this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you would be correct, almost correct. But let's go ahead and do that. Let's see we can take array value at element 0 and see what happens when we try to put it into our invoice sheet. So let's start with, obviously, invoice sheet, because that's where we want to stick it. Invoice sheet. And we're going to get a range again, the handy dandy get range. And then I want to put, I guess this is going to be E11 is the name, right? We go to that, yeah, customer name. And we want to put that into what cell? The name goes right here. So that's going to be C14. I'm going to put it in C14. So a good thing here is you have some scratch pad or a notepad, I would write down all the cells that you need. And I actually wrote it down wrong. I had D14, which was C14. So it's going to be C14 that we're going to, C17 is where we're going to put the name in. D14 is the date. No, E14 is the date, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to go here to C17 and put the name in. So let's see, how is that done? So we're going to do invoice sheet, get range, right? But we're going to get range of what? We want to put it in C17. Then again, we want to set, oop, that's not right. We want to dot set a value. We're going to do an individual, not values, just a value. So we're going to send 1, right? And then we want to do what? We want to do what's going to be in position 0, element 0 of the array called values. So we're going to sit there and open that up, right? Type in the word values, and then, right? All right, so we have that. All right, so let's go ahead and, let's not forget our semicolon. And we're going to hit save. Now that's going to be the name, right? So we want to grab the name. This should be element position 0 in the array called values. So let's go in here to our thing here and let's put in a name. And let's hit add. See what happens. So the script is finished. Go here and put eat in. That's good. That's what we want, right? All right. Go back there and put, and see we got clear all. So now what's the next thing here? So basically we just need to copy this a bunch of times and change this and change that to meet our positions in the invoice sheet and in the invoice sheet. So let's do one more. So next one is we want to do what's next in our invoice sheet. Go back to invoice. So we have the name, all right? Well, if we have a company name, we'll put that in there, but I don't think we have one. So the next one's going to be street address. So let's take a look at our input field, and here's the address. Address is going to be E12. So that's going to be this one here. So let's go ahead and copy this. Hit the magic. Control V. So we want to put that in, not in 18. We want to put it in 19, I believe it was, right? 19. So I guess we'll find out here in a second. And it's going to be what? Element 1. Now let's hit save. Let's go ahead and type in our thing here. All right, so for now, let's go ahead and hit add. And it's finished. Go to invoice. So at music, and then put anything in there. Got that there. So E19, right? Or no, it's C19, right? See it anywhere? Let's take a look at our script. Invoice sheet C19 value 1. Well, why didn't that work? Well, let's try something else here. All right. Errors, nope. Let's go back. Our input. Let's put in again. Let's make this plural. And then line 1. Sheets. And then we don't care about that. All right, let's hit the magic add button. Go to our invoice. Now put it in. See? Music's sheets. But why didn't it do it to like a normal array? You know, we had 0, then 1, what we had previously. Well, that's because this is you can look at this as a 2-dimensional array, right? Array. 0 will default to, let's go back to this. 0 in this array will default to here, right? 0, 0. All right. But we have values that are still in, so we say row 0, but in position 1, position 2, position 3, but of row 0. So think of it as like a spreadsheet again, right? So that's my understanding of it. That's why we have to put the 0 on, because what? It's all in a 2-dimensional array. It's in like row 0, but they're all the columns. So you can see this is row 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4. So this will be the value of E11. This would be the value of E12. And this would be the value of 13, etc. down the line that I have in the values array. So that's what that's telling me, right? So it's a 2-dimensional array, I guess you could call it, right? 2-dimensional array. So that's why we have to put the 0 in front here, and this defaults to 0, 0. So to be, I guess, we'll just do that, all right? All right. So now what we have to do is we have to put the rest of these in, and basically you're just basically gonna cut and paste this stuff and use an increment this by 1 and put this in the proper field that you need it in, right? So let's go ahead. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. Four more, right? So we need 4 more. But what 4 more do we need? So let's just grab these 2 again. And 1 and do that. But let me put a space here. So let me fill this out, and then we'll be right back, and then we see how this works again. All right. So I got it all back here. So let's see how this works here. See what happens here. We start filling some stuff out here. Let's go back to our stuff here. So if we don't have it clear all this yet, we'll just delete this out ourselves. We'll just leave it blank for now. Get rid of this. And get rid of this date. All right. Let's go back to our input, and let's put in all right, so it added into the database, and now we have it on the date. Smith. We can probably do something here where we can just blank that out. And then we have address. Notice we don't have city, state in here yet. The phone number didn't come in, nor did that, and nor did the price. Now we have to figure out why that didn't happen. Okay, so basically what was wrong when we didn't have all the information put in to the invoice is that we had to fill out more information. So here we can do, let's go ahead and refill out some more information. So let's hit the add button. And there, now we have all our stuff in. Well, the majority of it. All right, so here we can create some formulas here to add all this up. But here we need to do the address, and also since there was no company name, we should blank this out. So let's go ahead and do these two things and see how that works. So let's go ahead back to our invoice. So the first thing is we want to combine our address. So we're going to create a new variable, address, equal. And then where are we getting the address from? So we're going to get the address from, well, not the address, but the city, state, and zip from E14, 15, and 16. Since we're going to get a variable here, we're going to dump this into the variable. We can go to the input form and grab those variables or those values and dump them into this variable. So we have to do input form, and we want to do what? Get a range. Again, what range? You can do a range like E14 colon to E16, but we have to break that all out because what it'll do is just smash it all together. So we're going to do individual here. And we want to get the value. And then after that, what we want to do, we want to add, or we want to concatenate, I guess. And then want to do a space and then add, and then we want to do the same thing again. So basically what we want to do is do this multiple times, but we forgot to do something here. It's a function, right? So let's grab this again, put it here, and then here. Hopefully that will be right. So we put 15, and we put 16, and then we can get rid of that and do this. So next we want to get rid of the company name if there's no company name value, which we don't have in our sheet here. So to do that, we want to get the value from that cell. So we're going to do let equal, let name equal. We want to get from where? Invoice sheet dot get range from where? I believe it's C18. C18. All right, we want to get the value again. Single value. So now we have that. And then we want to see if company name is still there. We want to remove it. All right, so we're going to do an if. If company name equal, let's put a P in there. P equal company name then that we want to blank it out, right? So we want to do invoice sheet dot get range C18 dot set value Another thing we forgot to do, right, is we need to do the proper cell in the invoice sheet. So to do that, we're going to do what? We're going to have to do invoice sheet, get range, and what is the C20? What we're going to do? And there we go. So let's save this. And put stuff back in. Let's see if it works. There we go. But we need to put a comma. There we go. We got the invoice number that they... Oh, look at that. That did not remove. Why didn't it remove? Let's take a look. Because we spelled company name wrong. Well, we can do something quickly here. All right, let's go back to input. Let's just do an add and see if it removes it. Yeah, it removed it. Okay, so now we got that. So now what we want to do now is we want to, so we got a clear input here, right? We got clear input. We got clear input. So let's do a redirect. So when we're done hitting the add button, the page automatically gets redirected to the invoice sheet. And that's done by entering this line of code. And then you can change this to whatever sheet you want. So here we got what? We got a workbook, right? We can set to active sheet, right? And then we're going to go to workbook, get sheet by name, invoice. If that sheet's there, true, redirect it over there. So let's go ahead and hit save, and we're going to hit the add button again to see if it works. So it did. See? It works. All right. So now finally, let's get to the clear all function. So now we want to is create a new function, and we're going to call it clear all function. So to do that, we're just going to type in function, the name of the function, parentheses, bracket, oh, wrong brackets, this bracket, And there. Now we have it. So the first thing in this function is we want to clear our input again. So we're going to clear our input again. And we have a function for that called clear input right there. So we're just going to call that function again. So we're going to go clear. We see we have clear input, parentheses, semicolon, enter. Now next, we want to clear our invoice. But we need to make sure we still have our list of cells that we need to clear. And in some of these cells, we're going to change the value. So if this was you had 2 there, we want to change this to 0. All right? So let's jot down the cells that we need to clear, and we'll go from there. So we'll go back to our invoice, and then we want to put all that into an array. All those cells that we need, we'll put into an array. So we're going to call it let is equal, let, and then the name of our variable or array, which should be ranges to clear. It's just the same one that's in here, but this gets called first. It's going to use its values that are appended to it or in it. And then this line here is executed, and it's going to overwrite what's in there. And basically, we're going to use this again. So let's first go back to this. Equal, bracket, quote, or single quote, but the name of the sheet. So we want to clear values that are in the sheet called invoice. Type INVOICE. And then what value? So we're going to do one value here, and that's going to be E14, I believe is the date. All right, we can double check that. And we see here E14. So we're going to remove the date. So let's go ahead. E14. And then we go over and we hit the magic comma. And we have to do that again. So our next one we want to clear is, for its and giggles, we want to clear the name, and that's C17. So let's go ahead and type that in. So we can type INVOICE. All right. That. Oh, you put that. And that. Oh, we spelt it right. Put that. And then there's what? E17. Now we can go ahead and we can save this. And let's select our clear all function. And let's run it here and see if it removes those 2 lines. So it looks like it executed. And did it remove it? No. No. See, it's still there. Why is that? Because we need to put something on the end of that. Let's start our for loop here. We're going to go back to this. We're just going to grab this. And we're going to copy. Hit this. Let's put this in here. Now, what do we have here? So we have let ranges to clear. We'll have these 2 elements inserted into the array. Then we're going to do 4. We're going to let I equal 0 because array starts at 0. And then we're going to do what? To the length of this. So it'll be 0, 1, or in this case, 2. And then here, we're going to go ahead and clear whatever the I is. So let's go ahead and give that a whirl. So we're going to hit save. Make sure we select our function, clear all, and let's hit run. And see if we get any mistakes. Hopefully not. And then we still cleared the date, but it didn't clear that. That's it's C17. Where's E17? So it's C17. And we're going to hit this. Let's run it. Go over there. And it's gone. All right, good. So we need to now put in the rest of our values in the same way here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do that right now. I'll do that off camera, and I'll be right back. All right, so here we have it, and then we're going to loop through it. So let's see here. What do we have here? Let's just put This is C28 is going to be this. C20 is this. All right, so let's give this a run and see what we missed. So we can put a date back in here. We'll just put something in here. All right, and we put a name in here. All right, remember we had company name here. Let's give it a whirl. All right, let's hit save. Make sure we have a clear all function selected and hit run. See if we have any errors pop up here. It's taking a little bit. It's thinking. Go back, and we missed our phone number. And we got rid of, I think that we had something in here. But we can hit the, let's see what happens. See, hit the Control Z, and we can put stuff back in. Well, let's go back to our invoice because we missed the phone number, which is in 21, C21. So let's hit that, and let's go back here, and let's just add something here so we can do this. That's G20. We want C. Make it a little more easier. Let's see if this works. All right. Hit stop. Hit save. And let's run it again. And it cleared it all out. See, right here? Didn't do anything here. But cleared this out. We're going to do something else. We're going to get to that in a second here. But cleared everything out. That's exactly what we wanted. So the next thing we want to do is clear out those dollar signs or the amount. And we want to put a 0 back in there. So we're going to do that as follows. Let's hit enter. So let's do it this way here. So we're going to do what we need to do. We need to set these to 0. So that starts with a G24 to G29. Right, cool. Let's put some additional values in here. All right, so we have some values in here. And let's go back. So let's go ahead and do this. So now we want to get the invoice sheet, and we want to get a range. We want to get a range. We want to get a range. Get range of what? G24 through G28. We want to get those cells because we want to set them to a value. So now we pulled them in, and now we want to set the value to 0. Now I'm still going to select value, not values, because we're doing individual cells here. And we set it to, oh my God, 0 and that. So we can hit save. And let's hit run, and that doesn't really matter, but we'll keep everything consistent. We're on the right. And go here. Yeah, set everything. Exception of 29. Oh, forgot to do 29. Oh, the horrors. So, one more. Save, run, go. Does it change? Oh, look at that right in front of the change. There we go. All right, so now we cleared that. And we want to add some names back in this into these cells here. So don't care about date, right? Since we cleared everything out up here, let's go ahead and add back in some names, names here, and see if we can populate them. So here we're going to go ahead and cut and paste in a whole bunch of stuff. Now notice here, I'm doing it 2 different ways, right? So here we have invoice sheet, get range, C22, set value of name. And we know this works down here, right? So we did it this way here, right? So we know this is going to work this way too, right? All right. But now I'm going to do it this way here. Let's do workbook. So we're going to go to workbook. What's the workbook? Workbook equals the active sheet. All right. But where in the workbook? What range of the workbook? Well, invoice. invoice tab. This is going for the invoice tab. Where here, we already set our constant to be the invoice tab ready. So now we're just going to do it different because you can. All right, there's more ways to do this. So I'm just showing you 2 ways that you can do it. And here we're going to put our name into C17. Right, we're going to clear it out. Right here's all the clear. Then we're going to repopulate with name. We're going to repopulate the cell below it, cell below it, the cell below it, and then the cell below it. And then, of course, we already saw this work. So now let's hit the save button, and let's hit run, and let's see if it puts it all in there. What's the worst going to happen? Puts it all in there, right? Well, golly, it did it, right? We don't care about the date. We don't care about the invoice. And if we want to, we can put our project name back here. That's if we want to put it in there. Don't care about the due date. And these we can leave blank. All right? Is there anything else that we forgot? Good question. So we clear our input. Then we clear all the cells in the invoice tab. And to do that, we use a for loop to iterate through these values. And to get the length of this array, we take the array, ranges to clear, and use the function length and gives us a value. So if we want to see that, we can do right after that. And that's going to print it out below here. So let's do that. And let's hit run 10. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we can remove that. Or you can comment it out by doing a slash. There it goes. Comment it out. You'll leave it in there. So now we have our add and our clear all functions created. So should we test this? Let's really test this out now. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our input, and then let's go ahead and put in some name here. Hit the add button, and it automatically went there. So now we're good. Now let's go back to our sheet, go back to our input, click on this, sign our script, clear all, hit OK. Now let's see the button works. Let's put something in here again anyway. All right. All right, removed that. Go to our invoice. Look at that, folks. It removed everything. So there you have it. We created our clear all function. It clears all this. Now next here, so in our next video, we're going to create the search function, and we're going to append it to this blue button called search. So we're going to search through all our database to find customer that we want to view and view the invoice and whatever they did. So with that, I hope everyone have a happy and wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next series, the next video of this series, creating a database using app scripts. Have yourself a nice day.